Why is glass transparent? Have you ever stopped to wonder why you can see clearly through a glass window but not through a wall or a wooden door? Glass looks solid and hard, yet light passes through it so easily. The reason behind glass transparency lies deep inside the microscopic world of atoms, electrons, and light interactions. Although it may seem mysterious, the explanation is actually quite simple when broken down step by step. Glass is mainly made from sand, which contains silicon dioxide. When sand is heated to extremely high temperatures and then cooled quickly, it turns into glass. Unlike crystals where atoms are arranged in neat repeating patterns, glass has a disordered atomic structure. This irregular arrangement plays an important role in how light behaves when it hits glass. Light is a form of energy made of tiny packets called photons. When light hits any material, one of three things usually happens. The light is absorbed, reflected, or transmitted. In transparent materials like glass, most of the light is transmitted. This means the light passes through instead of being absorbed or scattered. The key reason glass is transparent is that its electrons do not easily absorb visible light. Electrons can absorb light only if the light has the right amount of energy to make them jump to a higher energy level. In glass, the energy gaps between electron levels are too large for visible light to bridge. As a result, visible light passes through without being absorbed. This is why glass does not block the colors we can see. When light enters glass, it does slow down slightly and changes direction. This bending of light is called refraction. Even though light bends, it continues traveling through the material and exits on the other side. Because this process happens smoothly and uniformly, our eyes interpret it as transparency. Another important reason glass appears clear is that its surface is usually very smooth. Rough surfaces scatter light in many directions, making materials look opaque or cloudy. Polished glass has very few surface irregularities, so light travels straight through instead of scattering. This is why frosted glass, which has a rough surface, looks translucent rather than transparent. Interestingly, glass is transparent only to certain types of light. While visible light passes through easily, some forms of ultraviolet and infrared radiation are partially blocked. This is why special coatings are sometimes added to windows to reduce heat or UV exposure while still allowing visible light to pass through. Color also plays a role in transparency. Clear glass allows almost all visible wavelengths through, while colored glass contains added elements that absorb specific colors. For example, iron impurities can give glass a green tint by absorbing some red light. Even then, much of the light still passes through, keeping the glass transparent but tinted. Transparency is not unique to glass. Other materials like water, air, and some plastics are also transparent for similar reasons. Their atomic structures and electron energy levels allow visible light to pass through with minimal absorption. In everyday life, glass transparency is incredibly important. It allows us to have windows, eyeglasses, camera lenses, smartphone screens, and countless scientific instruments. Without transparent materials, modern life would look very different. So glass is transparent not because it is empty or invisible, but because of how its atoms and electrons interact with light. Visible light simply doesn't have the right energy to be absorbed, so it passes through smoothly. What seems like a simple property is actually a beautiful example of physics working quietly around us every day. If you enjoyed this simple science explanation and want to understand more hidden secrets of the everyday world, like, share and subscribe for more fascinating science stories explained in an easy and curious way.